G'day curd nerds. Today we're going to be making a fresh cheese and it's English farmhouse cheese. Now this is a traditional old school cheese. It's very similar to French Coulommiers, I think that's how you pronounce it. However, it doesn't have any Penicillium candidum added to it. So it's not a mould ripened cheese. So it's a fresh cheese. We can eat it the next day. It needs about 24 hours to drain in Camembert mould, so I'm going to be using 10 centimetre Camembert moulds, which is 4 inches, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, on with the cheese. Well, the ingredients for this cheese is 10 litres or 12 quarts of full cream milk or whole milk, quarter teaspoon or a tad of mesophilic culture. I used MO30 in this case. 1.5 ml or quarter a teaspoon of calcium chloride, 1.5 ml or quarter of a teaspoon of liquid rennet, both diluted in a quarter of a cup of non-chlorinated water, and some cheese salt. You'll also need 6 Camembert hoops or baskets, which are 10 centimetres across the top or 4 inches. Now heat the milk to 32 degrees Celsius or 90 Fahrenheit. And then once you've got to the right temperature, we add in the mesophilic culture. Now it's a fair bit of culture. Normally you wouldn't use this much for 10 litres of milk, but because it's a fresh cheese, you need a lot of acid development quickly on in the process. So we let that rehydrate for 5 minutes. Then we give it a stir in through the milk. So once that's stirred through, we're going to start adding the other ingredients. So I'm going to add in the calcium chloride. And give that a good stir through the milk. Then we're going to add in the rennet. So there's no acidification time. We're going to add all the ingredients together. So we give that for a stir for no more than 1 minute. Then I'm going to cover that and allow it to rest to set. So it's going to set for a long time, for an hour and 15 minutes. So once that's done, we're going to check for a clean break. Now mine was set at the 75-minute mark or hour and 15-minute mark. I got a clean break, that was good. Now if you find that yours has not set, wait another 15 minutes and check for a clean break again. So we're just going to move that over to the sink area where I have my moulds. Now initially I only had 4 because that's what the recipe called for, but it wasn't enough. So we're going to cut the curd into large squares. I just used the skimmer there and made vertical cuts. So the horizontal cuts are when you actually pull it out of the, make slices and put it into the hoops or baskets. So you'll see as I go along there. Now it's also at this stage we can actually add dried herbs or spices or bits of chopped fruit in between the layers of the cheese. So it's a nice way to spice up this cheese. So once the 4 baskets are full to the brim, you'll find you'll probably need to wait an hour before you can actually have the headroom to put some more in there. So just let that drain naturally. Don't press it. Don't do anything silly like that. And just let it naturally drain away. And you see it's drained away a little bit there. So I'm going to top it up. Now it was about this stage that I figured that I didn't have enough baskets and the recipe book that I was using wasn't right. So I didn't have any more Camembert baskets, so I had this small mould which didn't have too many holes in the side, so I decided to fill that up in lieu of the extra 2 baskets. But I highly recommend using 6 Camembert baskets or hoops and then then you'll be fine. So just make sure that you come back every 6 hours and top that up. So keep filling it up until all the curd is used, and don't be tempted to add any more hoops in because the cheese won't be solid enough. It'll flatten down far too small for the effect we're looking for. So once all of your curd is in, this took me 6 hours. Once they're all filled, then rest them for 12 hours. So that was overnight for me. And I put a cheesecloth, a loose weave cheesecloth over the top to make sure no beasties got in there overnight. So it hasn't drained very much. So 12 hours, it's come away from the sides, which is great. And I'm going to flip them over. And I'm going to let them drain for a bit longer. So it's kind of like making Camembert. However, you don't have any Penicillium candida mould in the cheese. So we're just going to flip that over now. I'm just using 2 boards on top of each other. Here we go. So you got to squeeze really tight. Oops, I think I've lost one. Let's have a look there. Yep, there we go. We saved it. No problems at all. Didn't fall out. It's quite solid now at the moment anyway. So we're going to let that rest for another 12 hours. So that's going to rest overnight. There's the other one. And there's the cheesecloth that I had over the top. So we're going to unmould them now. They're very firm. They won't bulge or anything silly like that. So now we're going to salt them. So we're going to use half a teaspoon for the small ones and a full teaspoon for that large one there. So this is just non-iodized salt. And you can see there's funny little indentations, very cute. It actually did mention that in the recipe that I used, that would happen. So just salt that all over. And I'm just going to put that in a maturation box. So that's a full teaspoon on both sides for that large one, but for the smaller ones with using Camembert hoops, you only use half a teaspoon top and bottom. Now I found that I didn't actually have to rub salt on the sides or anything like that. Just give it a little bit of a rub, flip it over, and then do the next one. There we go. There's my ripening box. So this is pretty simple stuff. Now the salt actually adds flavour and helps preserve the cheese as well. Without it, it's a pretty bland sort of cheese. There we go. So we're going to mature that for 2 days. That's all it takes at 4 degrees Celsius or 39 Fahrenheit. I'm going to drain the excess whey every day. It does build up in the bottom. So there we go. You can see they didn't bulge or anything. This is after the 2 days. They look quite solid. So they're a lot higher than what a Camembert would be, because we did have a lot of milk going into these moulds. So just get rid of see the fair bit of whey in the bottom of the maturation box there. And there they are in all their glory. There's our English Coulommiers. I think that's how you pronounce it correctly. I don't think I got it quite right in the intro. So it's Coulommiers. And yeah, they're quite high, and they're actually very delicious. So this is after the 2 days, and it tastes like solid cream cheese. It's very spreadable, and it's quite delicious. There is a fair bit of acid development from all of that mesophilic culture we put in, and very nice. So you can store that for up to 2 weeks. I just wrapped mine in foil and put it in a box in the fridge. So delicious little cheese. We've given all these away now. I've eaten one of them, and we're tucked into the big one. So don't forget that you can support us by going to Patreon and pledging your support, or visit our shop and check out some of our equipment and gear online at littlegreenworkshops.com.au, and have a look at one of our other videos there. This is Jarlsberg. This is the Jarlsberg taste test that I did about a week ago. Thanks for watching. See you next time.